This episode of Return of the Living Podcast is brought to you by Haunt Nation Magazine. Haunt Nation is a free website for Halloween and horror addicts covering prop house tours, SFX makeup tips, pro and home haunted attraction reviews, exciting contests, conventions, exclusive member downloads, and much, much more. And it's free! Just go to www.hauntnationmag.com.
Coming at you from the 245 Trioxin Studios, this is Return of the Living Podcast.
Check.
Hot potato.
Yeah, you don't need to go that loud.
Okay.
Cold straight biscuits.
I think we're okay.
Okay.
You good?
I'm ready.
And welcome everyone to another episode of Return of the Living Podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Jared Howe.
I'm Brad Banforth.
And I'm Larry.
And
Larry.
Larry. And Corey is actually wrestling today.
Yeah.
I'm not full of shit. He is actually wrestling.
At this very moment.
At this very moment.
That's true. Every time we say he's wrestling. But he's literally wrestling right now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he really is. Good luck
Skeeter
out there,
Jackson,
buddy.
Again.
What's his what is he right? What's his name right now?
What, Corey?
Yeah.
His wrestling name?
Yeah.
CAC.
I thought what did he change it to? What's his nickname right now?
I don't think
we named him the Boondock Taint.
We named him the
that's not a
Boondock
real
Taint.
thing?
No.
Oh.
He was on this website called Trash Bag Wrestlers,
Yes.
and somebody on like the comments called him the Boondock Taint.
Which is where we got our idea.
Yeah, he
for
was
trash
like,
bag
"That's so
tattoos."
funny. I can't even be mad that some guy called me the Boondock."
That is pretty good. I've seen Trash Bag Wrestlers. It's hilarious.
See, you and I are admins on a page called Trash Bag Tattoos, which is somehow still getting likes.
I know.
But we haven't done anything since October.
We got like 3 likes last week. I see those pop up, and I'm like, okay.
We haven't posted anything since October, but
We should probably
get that
I
going.
should just start posting good tattoos just to make people mad.
get flame wars going.
Yeah.
That's what most of them are. Like Trash Bag Wrestlers is flame wars because everybody in indie wrestling joined it, and now they see it, and they see their friend or somebody they've wrestled with or themselves, and they lose their fucking minds.
Well, what kills me is people are just like, those guys don't have real gear, and I'm like, Jeff Hardy throws paint all over his body and wrestles in trip pants. Why can't this schmo?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
I don't know why gear is such a big deal. I think it's an elitist thing. I don't know much about indie wrestling.
Kind of like our last episode when we talked the base origins of character creation.
Yeah.
And there was some elite because it all was spurred by one particular photo of someone who's doesn't exactly have the money to throw a real costume together. So, and there was a bunch of elitists making fun of the same exact thing.
That's true.
Same exact thing.
I usually go in there and troll and throw down for Sonny and Corey when they're in the trash bagger zone, but those guys get so mad too, and they're so easy to talk shit to because they're all just jocks, like fucking roided out jocks, and they're not witty as hell.
What I don't get is they're used to cutting promos and things like that, so they should understand wordplay and like.
Well,
jokes
that's the thing is
and
witty.
Like that, and
witty isn't the same for rednecks as it is for the rest of the world.
That's true. Clever,
and
witty.
that's mostly like redneck stuff.
Yeah,
I went to a
true.
wrestling show last weekend, and there was a marriage at the wrestling show. There's a wedding, and they have
a legit
wedding. This couple, they were just fans of IWA's the promotion, IWA Mid South, and they're fans of the promotion. So they met there. They got married there, and then
they get married in the ring.
They got married in the ring, and the wedding official was a wrestling manager by the name of Rodney Rush, who has the grouchiest voice in wrestling. Like, he's got a very recognizable voice, and he married them. And then he manages the IWA champion by the name of Congo Kong, who is our good friend Teddy Summers' spirit animal. You should look him up right now. He's this massive giant of a man. And Congo Kong came out and just fucking slammed the holy fuck balls out of the groom.
How do you spell it?
Just like it sounds, Congo Kong.
Congo Kong.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it with a K?
Yeah, both are with Ks.
Fucking, that's not how you spell Congo.
Whatever.
Put your phone on silent, Brad.
And
yeah,
he is a massive, massive man.
Speaking of misspelling things with K's at them, Crooked Creations. You know how many times I've been going back and forth to their site and misspelled crooked? Pisses me off so much.
One of our lovely sponsors, Crooked Creations, which you should definitely buy a mask from because I've done it. They spell crooked in creations with K's.
It's just this thing that people do.
And creation, yeah.
Particularly artistes.
I've done it both ways. I've misspelled it. And I figured out early on, the internet is not somewhere where you want to misspell a URL. Because it will take you to donkey porn real quick. Like Google, there's only a couple ways you can misspell Google, and they've bought that certain domain. There's a couple ways you can fuck it out, like if you put 2 L's in it, for example, as opposed to 1 at the end. Porn. Is
there a Return of the Living porn cast? I wonder if that's a thing.
I thought we brought Larry on specifically for that.
It's a really specialized podcast. It's horror porn podcasting.
I do know that there's a porn site called Wood Rocket that has their own podcast.
What do they just talk about porn?
I don't know. I've never listened to it.
I don't know.
It just brings up us.
Probably.
Freaking. Speaking of porn, did you guys see in the news that the MMA fighter that beat up his porn star girlfriend? His name is on the tip of my tongue.
War Machine.
War Machine wrote like another letter that made the news, and he was talking about getting gonorrhea in the eye.
No, I can honestly say I did not hear about this.
When you have a porn star's name tattooed on your body, which I don't remember where or why, but he has her name tattooed on her, you're gonna get
gonorrhea in
your eye. Yeah, like come on.
Stuff like that. I was like, I'll never watch porn again. All those girls have gonorrhea in their eyes.
Well, yeah. What about? I mean, who really could? I mean, we know someone who's
our show goes down the gutter really fast.
We know someone who's in a relationship with a former adult star, but it makes me. What do you? I guess it would be cool to say I date a porn star, but like during football season last year, there was an 18-year-old freshman in Notre Dame who was dating like a 40-year-old porn star.
Yeah,
and she flew him all the way for like NBA games, and it's like, how cool would it be to brag to your 18-year-old?
Well, there was that Howard Stern did that thing where a kid got to win a date with a porn star to prom. I don't know if you guys remember that back in like the late 90s, early 2000s. Some girl, I can't remember which porn star, but they went a date with a porn star to prom. And she totally hooked that kid up, probably with a couple of BJs. Anywho, like when you're that young though, like.
It would be cool to say I banged a porn star. It wouldn't be cool to say I'm dating one.
Yeah, well, and speaking of all this, it just made me think, a disclaimer to any kid that listens to our show that's banging his high school teacher, keep your fucking mouth shut. You got a good thing going.
Yeah. Let's cover that.
As if we're officially starting the show now?
This covers two areas of things that I am interested in. Intrigued by.
Well, I don't even know where we're at right now, because I don't know.
This thing, like, I saw a story just 2-3 days ago, something like that. A teacher had sent unscrupulous messages to a 15-year-old girl, but they were kind of weird, but they weren't like, I want to fucking blast your hymen. It was something like, love you, good night.
Sorry, ladies.
It wasn't anything like crazy, but it was inappropriate, and I get it. Well, they were like coming down to like the hammer of Thor. They had the moms had made this coalition of fucking
moms against teacher-student sex.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but
Mats.
Yeah, Mats. I always go back to what's the Kiss movie?
Detroit Rock City. Yeah.
Matt Mock, Mothers Against the Music of Kiss or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, and that was super exaggerated, but it's so true. And they had created this like angry mob of mothers to basically cut the guy's dick off, have him fired, burn him, kill his cat, kill his dog. I mean, they're like on fire about it. Okay, whatever. Fuck off. Go eat a fat baby's dick, because there's so many stories that I see as well where it's like the hot teacher bangs the kid and everyone's like, yeah, go you, which I totally agree with. Yeah. But for whatever reason, it's not weird. Like there's that weird disconnect of like, it's cool for a guy to do it, but for a girl to do it, like the teacher's a predator. But when a guy and a girl do it, the woman's like, hey, quit, don't do that. You know what I mean? And nothing happens. And I think that's really bizarre. But if you are currently in a relationship like that, shut the fuck up. Stop telling people. Enjoy it. When you're 30, 40 years old, whoever you're still friends with on Facebook, call them up and be like, hey, guess what I did?
Well, nobody will believe him. That's like you like take pics and email them to yourself so no one, like, when you're 50, you'll be like, I fucking got proof. Fucking.
Because when we get old, we all talk like that.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Around these parts.
I'm just
happens.
thinking to myself right now, our guys at Haunt Nation magazine and our guys at Crew Creations listening to this and going,
what did we get ourselves into?
Why?
They knew. I think they knew what they signed up for. If they listened to any of our past shenanigans with Feast Whisper Pants and
Penis Tea Flush.
Yeah. So about
which is
sex,
a real band name, by the way, if you didn't know that.
Brad had his taste of sex this week with some 50
we're doing
Shades
that right
of Grey.
now?
We're going right in there.
So we're okay. I thought we were. I
Like
thought that
a
was the second segment.
Fist
of
in
the
a
show.
cornhole.
Yep. Against your will. And we're not telling you the safe word.
So Carrie was like, didn't Brad get tickets like he's going for work or something? And I was like, no, Brad wouldn't do that. Sure enough, on Facebook, there he is.
Well, let me just preface it by saying
There
this.
she
Okay?
blows.
I lost my wife's wedding ring after Christmas, and I just dropped an undisclosed amount of money, which for someone who doesn't make a lot of money, it was quite a bit.
For the record, how the hell did you lose her ring?
Because okay, do you want me to go back and you want me to actually tell that? All right.
I think this is a story for another time. It makes me sad for you. I feel bad for you. Did you make up for it?
Yes, I bought her a ring that cost over 4 times what I normally, or what I she had previously had.
All right.
4 times more than he spends on his side bitches.
So how'd you do it?
Okay, so the Monday after Christmas, I got called into work because my boss had a sick child. So I came in during the day, and I had until the end of the year to get our rings and cleaned and inspected. And so I was like, I'm leaving work at 3. I'll take everything.
Oh, you have a warranty.
Yeah, and then I got somewhere, it fell out of the paperwork, the sleeve that I had it in at some point. When I got to the jeweler and put everything on the counter, her ring was missing. So, I flash forward to a couple of weeks ago, I paid for a brand new ring for her, and I need as many hours as I can possibly get. Our one of our stations did a private screening of 50 Shades of Grey on last night, Saturday, and I worked it because I needed the hours. Well, they were going to pay me to sit and watch the movie. And I was like, it's no matter what movie it is, if I'm going to get paid to sit in the theater, I might as well take it. And then my mom showed up.
Yes. You watched porn with your mom.
My mom won tickets.
Oh, wow.
And it's not just porn. It's
she
like...
consciously won tickets.
She loves those books.
Holy fuck balls. That's
it's not even porn. It's like torture porn.
So,
too.
Okay, here we are. I'm expecting it to be like a packed theater, so it's me and 5 other people from the station, and we go and we get into the theater early, and we put our jackets in a row so we can all sit together. And then the theater was about half full, so they all decided to move because they thought we were too close to the screen, and they moved right in front of my mom. And I was like, I'm just sitting by myself. So I sat in like the 4th row by myself completely alone and watched 50 Shades of Grey like a creepy 31-year-old guy who watches 50 Shades of Grey by himself.
Did you rub your knees the whole time like it's Pat?
No, I checked my phone a lot.
I was going to say rub his nipples. I don't know why. We both went, we both went different ways with that.
So I heard that movie, real talk, I heard it was hot garbage. Is that true?
It's a mess. It was...
The guy that starred in the movie compared it to Hitler.
Those stories are actually pretty funny to read where they're like, this is a terrible movie. both the lead actors.
It reminds me of that with The Happening
actresses.
and Mark Wahlberg. Was that movie, The Happening? He was like, "This movie is shit. Don't see it."
Yeah, I think I think that was it. Yeah.
It's fucking terrible.
Well,
I mean, obviously, it's not going to hurt their box office any, but
no, well, you know, the movie ends. I stand up, and my mom and her husband are coming towards me.
Was there a secret fisting scene?
No,
No.
they talked about it, but
that's all the hype these days. Secret after credit scenes. He's
well,
just
I did not stay for the after credits.
I bet it had a funny gag reel. Get it?
What? Oh, what?
Well played.
Yeah.
No, but I stand up after the movie, and my mom and her husband are walking towards me, and my mom was like, "I liked it. It was really close to the book." And if I've never read the books, if that movie was close to the books, like she says it is, then the books have zero story, because the movie had zero story. It was.
I think that was the point, isn't it?
It was take a girl, give her a ride in an expensive vehicle, a helicopter or a glider plane or really nice
Fist
cars,
the hell out of her,
and then just take her and beat her senseless with whips.
Your dick.
Yeah, pretty much whatever.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what the movie was.
I don't get it.
Me
I don't
neither.
know, but
I don't
every
get it
time I
either.
see a girl at work like reading it in the break room, it's just like a dare to come to work with a Playboy
Yeah.
and fucking hang out. Like
Yeah.
that's the one thing that pisses me off about it.
Well, it was like I was sitting here
And people are like, they're no different than other romance novels, and I'm like, well, fucking other romance novels aren't sold as pornography either. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sitting by myself in the theater, and it's mainly it's mainly all women, obviously, but there were a couple of guys in there, and just listening to the women just giggle
Oh God.
and just kind of wheezy moan their 40-year-old, overweight selves the entire film. I was like, this get me out of here.
See,
that's
all
just
of that's
weird.
like all good and fun, and what'll happen is
Like,
maybe like 2 or 3 people in that theater, 2
Throwing
or
a
3 of the
hot
women
dog
will
down a
figure
hallway.
out. We'll figure out that like, hey, maybe we should get a little bit more creative in bed. Fucking great for them. But the rest are gonna be like, hey, maybe we should try some of this stuff. And then they're going to figure out that maybe it wasn't such a good idea because it's not for everyone. You have to have a lot of trust in a relationship to do that shit.
That's
I
true.
don't like how many like
I think it's
50-year-old
gonna-
women threw out their backs.
Yeah.
Did
I
you
think
guys hear that when it premiered in Europe, like hardware stores ran out of supplies?
I feel like they
Like-
should be
like
more
drill
cultured
those?
over there.
Yeah. Well, like cable ties and duct tape and ropes, and
Oh, I was thinking like taking a dildo and mounting it to a drill.
I
These,
bet you could probably do that.
You can.
those Americans know how to punch some taint. Like,
But the thing was,
I don't know.
even creepier than me watching it in a theater where my mom was sitting about 8 rows behind me was the fact that right behind me was a guy and his girlfriend, who the girlfriend didn't really want to come see it. It was the guy, and we gave away a pair of earrings to one lucky winner, and that guy won some earrings and was like super stoked he won earrings. I was like, okay, this is weird.
Fair enough.
there's some fruity guys out there, man. It's not. I don't. Maybe what kind of earrings?
They were a purple stone. I don't know if they were an amethyst or a tanzanite stone.
Could he pull off like the Jesse Ventura look from like the 80s?
Yeah.
Because he could probably rock that and no one would care now.
You had a strong
they were
enough
pretty. They
jawline.
were pretty
Yeah.
girly. I'll just put that way. They were pretty girly.
Yeah. It all comes down to the jawline.
I feel it.
So yeah, that's how I spent my Saturday night watching 50 Shades of Grey with my mom.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, it sounds like a nightmare.
Don't ever watch 50 Shades
Were
of Grey
there-
with your parents.
I saw like one of my friends posted a picture of evangelists standing outside the theater. That's just weird to me.
Well, that is kind of, that's not surprising, but the greatest part of the whole experience was they played The Wedding Ringer, the new Kevin Hart movie,
So good, by the way.
before our showing of the 50 Shades, and then the movie came on, and we watched like the first 10 minutes of Wedding Ringer because they were playing the wrong thing, and women were going nuts.
That's awesome.
It was hilarious.
What the fuck?
But I think I put on Facebook that the best part of the movie is that I was getting paid to do nothing, and the worst part of the movie was the movie, and that's how I feel.
It's fucking terrible.
But let's move on to other movies that are coming out later this year that we actually are excited about, because I know we each have some, and I'm interested in hearing what it is that you guys are looking forward to. Somebody say something.
I had a mouthful of coffee. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm excited to see that's coming out this year, but there's stuff extended in the future that I'm stoked to see for sure.
So like what, for example?
I don't know. I'm really stoked about anything Marvel's doing in the future. They got Spidey back. I don't know why we're going back to high school, but I won't bitch. I'm just glad there may be a good Spider-Man movie in the future.
I don't see... Spider-Man's one of those I'm either or about. I've always kind of dug the Hulk, but it is, I don't know, I'm not obsessed, but I really like the Hulk movies. But Spider-Man, I'm kind of either way. I fucking hated the movies. I just wish they would stop and move on. If they want to
Tobey Maguire movies or the Tobey Maguire movies or the newer ones?
Fucking any of them. Yeah. I've tried to give them all a shot. The only one that I liked was the one with Sandman in it, and it's only, or what's his name? The Sandman.
That's the villain, yeah.
Yeah,
but I don't know the actor's name.
He was on Wings. Sure. Do you remember Wings?
I do.
Yeah.
He was the
Thomas Hayden Church, is that his name or something like that?
He was the mechanic on Wings. Years ago, and he's still the same age somehow. He's Rob Schneider's brother.
I might have to cover that on my other show.
You might.
Because he might be an immortal.
He might be. But he's I like him. I've always dug his character or his acting, even though I've only seen him in Wings. I just always thought he was cool.
My least favorite Spider-Man movie.
Really? I just like him. I like his character in the movie because he's kind of I don't know. I mean, he runs into like Green Goblin. Spider-Man runs into him, but he's got obvious weaknesses, and it's he's going to kill him. He's going to turn one of his weapons around on him, whatever it may be. It ended up being his sled or whatever it was, but it was just kind of very transparent and he's weak. He's got weaknesses. He's a cyborg and he's got his little fucking pumpkin chunkin bombs or whatever. I get it, but he's still a human. Whereas the Sandman was he could really fuck him up. You know what I mean? Because he blasts through the middle of him and he's just whoosh, just heals. I've always dug him, so that's the only one I kind of like.
With the first Amazing Spider-Man film with Dennis Leary and Emma Stone.
I haven't seen those.
Those are pretty solid.
I'm not a Spider-Man. I don't know. I just think he's kind of lame. My issue, I think, is mainly that what I don't like about him is what everybody else likes so much about him is that he's a diminutive, quiet person, and Stanley is a genius for the fact that he created a character that every one of his future fans could relate to. They're like, that's me. I could totally get bitten by a spider. So they fantasize. Well, I'm not like that, so I don't associate with Spider-Man's, regular form.
One hero that needs a movie, I know we're off topic to what Brad proposed, but I was thinking the other day, the Punisher never gets, the Punisher has potential to be way fucking cooler, but they always, write him really poorly. He fights a talking baby, or, who's, a mob gangster. Who the fuck cares? If they gave him some good villains, the amount of respect I'd have for that guy, because he's just, a fucking Special Forces commando hanging in there with the big leagues.
Well, he's...
the amount of respect he could have is, way more than he actually gets just because he shoots people, but whatever.
True. In his movies, though, he's only fighting just, regular people. It's all, real-life stuff, though, right?
In the movies they've made, for the most part, yeah, but...
Because I don't remember any supervillain as far as, bad guys, obviously, or people with guns, but I don't remember there being any...
He's held his own with the best of them in his comic days, though.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Are you talking about people that can fly and mind control and actual supervillains?
He holds his weight there. Yeah.
Okay.
I think in the comics, he pretty much.
I actually kind of dug it because they made him real life.
Well, it's just I feel like he doesn't get focused on in the comics because there's no real Punisher fans. He's got a lot of merchandising, but it's just because people are skulls are cool. Fucking skulls.
Know. I do.
Every annoying person at Jared sounds the same.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic.
They all have the same dialect.
My other car's a skull. I don't know. It's the same thing with the Misfits t-shirts. Everybody has one, but no one knows who they are.
Right.
Fuck you. I love Misfits.
Are you excited at all for the Daredevil series coming out on Netflix?
Yeah, I got a boner watching the trailer. I'm even more excited for the Iron Fist show that they're doing on Netflix. That's like in the future, but Iron Fist is a badass. But yeah, I'm stoked for the Daredevil show. I think what are you? Oh, you have a Misfit skull on your leg.
I don't know who they are.
Larry's 138. Fucking,
I am 138.
Well, I just saw, like, I remember working at the morgue. There was this girl that was wearing a Misfits shirts, and I stopped her, and I was like, hey. And she stopped, and I was like, name me 3 Misfits songs. And she was like, Halloween, fuck you, Jared. And walked away, and I'm just like, get the fuck out of here. Like,
it's disgusting.
So you don't have any movies, though, that are coming out this year? Not Jurassic World?
I don't...
Not...
Jurassic World, I posted that thing that got everybody salty. It's the same fucking movie as Jurassic Park.
But they open it.
Okay, fair enough. No, like, who cares?
There's actually more than one person, and the Velociraptors and the humans team up to take out the whatever Charizard.
You know what they should really make a movie about? There's this place... I can't even remember where it's at, but I used to look at it all the time on like the internet a few years back. It's called Dinosaur World, and the storyline is that during the Civil War, the Confederate Army found a valley full of living dinosaurs, and they fucking like trained them to like fight the Civil War. And there's like Confederate soldiers riding raptors with like pistols and shit.
Sounds like
that
a good
would
time.
be a fucking hell of a movie there.
I know you haven't seen Iron Sky, but I know Larry has. The sequel for Iron Sky
is Dinosaur World.
The trailer shows Hitler coming out, emerging from under the center of the earth, riding a T-Rex.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did I share that with you, or you shared that with me?
I think I shared it with you.
Yeah, one of us I think found that. I was like,
but
the movie doesn't exist.
Yeah,
it was just a trailer to like, probably to build money. Probably to raise money for the movie.
More power to, was it Chris Pratt? Is that his name?
Dude, that's in Jurassic World, yeah.
Yeah, more power to that guy, though. Cause
he's everywhere now.
Guardians, like, I remember the first time I knew this was going to be a big thing was they were showing the teaser trailer, like, GIFs and stuff on the internet, and there was one of, like, everybody was posting, it was, like, side by side of Andy from Parks and Rec, like, all fat and, like, with his shirt off, and then him and, like, the decontamination thing in prison jacked like a motherfucker, and everybody's like, Andy got hot. I was like, he's gonna make money. Like,
yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy, though, best movie I think I've seen in a really long time.
I actually have not seen that movie, and I feel bad for it, but I intentionally did not go see it, and have not, because everybody got so fucking dick hard about Groot, and I had to see I Am Groot posted everywhere.
You sound like me.
For like 2 months, and I was like, you know what? Fuck you, Groot.
There's so much more to that movie than Groot. It's such an awesome movie. But that's
all that everyone was talking about was fucking Groot. And I'm just like, I'm going to wait till the hype's over, and then I'm just going to enjoy it.
That's good. I enjoyed it.
I'll tell you a movie that I'm excited about, and I think I showed you guys the trailer a couple of weeks ago, and that's Turbo Kid.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah. I forgot about that. I'm super hyped on that.
Turbo Kid looks amazing.
Fucking, I'm stoked for the new Mad Max movie.
Yes.
Yep. I keep forgetting about that one. I'm really hyped for that one.
The more and more trailers come out, I always have the same first reaction, which was, ugh, I hate Charlize Theron, but then my second reaction is always, it's going to be badass anyway. Yeah. Just because it's Mad Max.
Every time I see it, I think that I watch TV on mute a lot when I don't watch it. It's just on. And that sounds weird. When I'm editing videos and working on my laptop or doing shit, I just have the TV on but no volume. And every time it's on, I'm like, why is California Love playing on my fucking this station or whatever I'm watching? Because the Tupac video, I always think it's that. And then I'm like, oh no, it's the new Mad Max. But I'm pretty stoked for it. It looks cool. I don't give a fuck about the plot. I don't give a fuck about the characters. You could erase all of them. I care about the cars. I'm a grease monkey, so I like all the like badass vehicles. That's why I watch Death Race and however there are many of those. I watch all those because of the vehicles. Dude, I don't give a shit about the human element.
Those movies just make me like want to fucking strap a buzzsaw to the front of a Cadillac and like put tape over my nipples and go to town. Like, I fucking get jacked.
Jesus.
That's like when the end of the world comes, I hope it's that. Like I hope I just get to fight some like cannibals with like shotguns, and it'll be
Well, I think that's why. I think that's why we're all so stoked about the Turbo Kid trailer, because it's got a very Mad Max feel, but it's with.
I think
BMX
they were
bicycles.
just like, let's make a movie with the best of the '90s in it, or like the best of the '80s and '90s.
You know, the movie takes place in talking about Turbo Kid in the post-apocalyptic world of 1997.
Yeah.
Which is awesome already.
Yeah.
But then the main character finds an old NES Power Glove that gives him superpowers to fight the evil guys trying to control the...
Thank you, NES.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I'm excited for Turbo Kid. So, taking a break, I guess. We'll be back. Larry's got some DayZ stories that he wants to tell Jared. And
that'll be fun.
We'll be back right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Combining 3 decades of special effects, haunted house, and production experience, Crooked Creation specializes in masks and special effects. If you are looking for cutting-edge and original masks for your production or haunt, check out crookedcreations.com. Crooked Creations has been featured in dozens of haunted houses and several independent films and productions. Whether it's burlap, silicone, hybrid, or accessories, your one-stop shop is crookedcreations.com. That's crookedcreations.com.
Now it works like a fucking champ. Are we back?
We are.
Welcome back.
I didn't even have time to pick my nose.
Welcome. Boss, deplane. So.
That was a Love Boat reference.
It was.
How old are you?
85.
85.
In the body of a fat 28-year-old.
Well,
I don't remember what the little midget's name was now. I was going to make another joke.
Oh, now I can't think of it now that you brought it out there.
I want to call him Nanu, but that's what Mark says.
Dude, that show still makes me laugh if it comes on Nick at Night or whatever. Mork and Mindy.
That's like
classic.
The entire series is on Hulu.
Fucking Goodbye World.
Awesome. Goodbye World. I have a date with Destiny.
So
DayZ.
Yeah, Larry, you brought this up recently on a show, and
yes.
Larry has started playing it, and he was telling me some stuff about it before we went on air, and I think you're gonna dig it.
Yeah, it's an interesting game. I don't know how many of you guys play DayZ, but it's basically a post-apocalyptic world, but without all the bullshit. Like, everything's not destroyed, and there's not like crazy shit going on. It's just basically zombies came, ate everybody. There's not miles and miles of wrecked cars and all that bullshit. It's just zombies came and killed everybody, and you're alone in the world. You drop out in the middle of nowhere. You've got jeans on and a t-shirt, and you have to like loot houses and steal shit to get food, to get water, supplies, weapons, because there are zombies.
It's pretty realistic too. Like, bullets are pretty rare to come by, right?
Everything is hyper realistic. You can get, like, for example, the SKS or the Mosin. We talked about the Mosin in that firefighter video.
Your Mosin has no power.
If you remember that video, he's got a bayonet on the Mosin. It does not come on the Mosin. You find the Mosin, then hopefully you find the right ammo for the Mosin. It takes like 7.62 rounds, and they have to be in the clip that fit in the Mosin. Then you can find a bayonet that you can attach to it. However, the bayonets are different. There's one for the SKS, there's one for the Mosin, and there's one for there's like a double rifle or something, I think, that has one as well. You can also find scopes, but you can't put a scope on a shotgun because there's not a rail for it. You can't put the flashlight on anything other than a pistol, and it can't be the revolver. It has to be the 1911 or something like that. I mean,
is it hyper realistic? As in, like, there's probably a house somewhere full of all the 22 ammo.
No, it's
okay, like
the way the loot works is it just randomly populates. There's certain spots where it populates, and you can figure out tricks. Like, I know, like, 3 houses that 9 times out of 9 will have a pistol in them, and where it falls. There's like a weird algorithm for how things happen, and I've figured out certain tricks. So I can almost always get a 1911 or the Magnum, which is the revolver. Like, the revolver, you can get 357 rounds for it, or you can get 357 rounds with a speed loader clip, and it's real time. So if you're like shooting somebody and you run out, it's like 6 shots, I think, and you run out, your character will like click the gun down and slam the bullets in there and go. It's like an actual speed loader ring that you wear, and it's pretty sick. I mean, it's super hyper realistic. So So yeah, the game.
Well, real gunfights don't last.
No, yeah,
that long
not at all. And there's
like,
only like 3 or 4 shots fired most of the time. But,
unless you've got a crazy firefighter.
Oh my god!
Did he hurt you all one times he shot? That guy's like my fucking hero.
But so it's fun. I mean, the premise on paper is awesome. You run around and you scavenge and you try and stay.
I feel like most of it's probably boring though, isn't it?
It is. There's a lot of boring play where you're just running around trying to find a fucking backpack so you can store food. You'll spend like an hour looking for something, and then every now and then you run into a zombie. There's not like hordes of zombies. You can only get like, I think there's a max of how many, but I think I've only had 5 or 6 at a time. If you fire a gun, it attracts them. Things like that, and so you want to kill them quietly. You want to get like a fire axe that kills them in one shot. It makes no noise, so it doesn't attract them. But they can see you pretty far. You can see them like out in a field. I've scoped some out in the woods before, and if you get anywhere near them, in front of them anyway, they can see you and they'll take off running. But if you're behind them, you can sneak up on them. It's pretty funny. But so yeah, you run into an occasional zombie, and if you can't defend yourself, it'll fucking kill you. You have to have a decent weapon like the pickaxe or a fire axe or something like that. If you have like, there's a broom. If you have a broom, it'll do jack shit to them. It's pretty much useless, but it is funny. It is funny to carry around. But yeah, so it's a lot of fun. However, there's other people in the game that are playing. It's like Grand Theft Auto, but like way less populated. So you spend all this time getting all this shit, and then somebody can pop out and just shoot you. And absolutely end it.
Is there like a big gang? I wonder if people do that.
There
if people
are
were
gangs.
Smart, they would like join in groups
there
like
are.
that.
And that's where my story begins.
Larry was telling me
you have to pay the toll to cross the bridge. Potato salad. Like,
yeah, exactly. Tactical bacon is the big one. That's the high value item. So I was playing one day, and I usually play in friendly servers, which doesn't mean shit. Most of the time, the people you run into in friendly servers are just assholes that want to kill you anyway. But I usually try to stay in the friendly servers so I can get better at it rather than like flail around and just get killed all the time. So I get in like low servers that only have like 4 or 5 people in them, and the map is enormous. It's in Russia. It's an actual scape of land that exists in the world with the city names and everything. So you can get a map and follow it around where you're going. But so I'm playing, and I was in a busier server, and because none of my friendly servers were on at the time. But running around, I run into this guy, and I was like, hey, I'm friendly. I'm just trying to find, I forget what I was even looking for now, but it was something dumb. I needed like an axe or something. And I was like, I'm good, like friendly, blah, 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 don't shoot. And he's like, oh, okay, no big deal. So he runs off, and I continue on with what I'm doing. I was in a building that's kind of hard to get out of. There's only 2 exits, and all of a sudden he comes running back as I come out of the building. He's got like 3 guys with him. I was like, well, fuck. So they punch me and gang up on me and knock me out. Well, I break my leg in the process of the fight. And when I come to, they've got me bound and tied. You can tie people up. So I'm on my knees, legs broken, tied behind my back. You can't access your inventory. You can like look up and down, and that's it. You can't look left or right. Sucks. So they can like taunt you and force feed you rat poison, like you were saying, or food or water. And they were like, are you okay? Do you need anything? And I was like, to be untied? I have sticks.
How many people just log out when that happens?
Well, that's why I was like, well, are you going to let me out, or should I just like respawn? And they're like, well, don't do that. We'll let you live. We just want to mess with you. And I was like, so log out? But I wanted to wait and see what happened, because I'd never actually been like captured. So I was like, yeah, we'll see what happens. So my leg's broken. And when your leg is broken, you can't run. You can't do anything. You can stand up, but as soon as you move, you fall over. And they keep dicking with me. And you can see people's names. So they're calling me by my name, Lawrence. And they keep taunting me. Well, I told him, I was like, hey, you can take whatever you want. I don't have a lot, but I was like, you can take whatever you want. Just leave my pickaxe so I can defend myself, because I have a broken leg. I'm not going to be able to get anywhere fast. So just leave that with me. And they're like, okay, that's fair. Well, they took my axe, but then they set it down right in front of me. And I was like, all right, well, it's sort of there. I'm probably going to die. So there's like a long period of time. There's like 20 minutes where they're fucking with me, but they keep feeding me and like stitching me up to where I'm not bleeding and keeping me alive. And I'm just getting really fucking annoyed. So I was like, all right, whatever the fuck happens, I'm going to try and kill one of you. But I'm not saying it. So I'm talking to him back and forth like everything's cool and like being chill. And so when you're restrained, you can break out. But it takes a while, and they can see you doing it. So they caught me once and said, hey, quit. So I quit. But when they all turn around, or like they're killing zombies when they run up, I'm like struggling to break out. So in my last ditch effort, I see the axe, I shake the cuffs off, stand up, pick up the axe, and if you try and move, remember, you fall because your fucking leg's broken. Take the axe, split the guy's head open right in front of me, and he dies, and then they all like lose their shit and start shooting me and kill me like almost instantly because I got shot like 3 times in 2 seconds. So
while still that one guy was probably like fucking really pissed.
But while you're dead, you can still talk. You're still in the server. You're still there in that location, so you can still talk to people. So I'm laughing my ass off, and the guy's like, "He fucking killed me. What the fuck? How'd you let him do that?" And he's like, "You saw him stand up. Why didn't you fucking move?" And he's like, "I didn't know what was going on." So they're like bitching at each other back and forth. And these guys are serious players. They had equipment that I hadn't even seen before in the game. So I know they had been playing for a long time. One guy had a ghillie suit on, which you have to craft, and it's a pain in the ass. One guy had a fighter helmet that you can only get by finding a crashed helicopter that's way north on the map that takes forever to get to. These guys are serious players. They're a group. So they killed me. I got the one guy down. So now my life goal is to kill every single one of them. So I log back in on the same server.
Which is great, by the way.
Yeah. So I've become a terrorist now, and or an asshole, whatever you want to call it. I found where they camp out. You can get lockpicks and you can lock doors so other players can't get to you. So I found where they camp out. So I stay in that server, and I just kind of stay on the outskirts of where their camp is, or it's a church that they actually stay in. I stay on the outskirts of it, and I have a scoped gun, a scoped rifle, so you can see really far. So I just kind of keep an eye on them and wait for them to run out and get them by themselves. Well, they mostly travel in a pack, and I don't want to dick with that. So I wait for them to get out and on their own. Well, one of them finally got out on his own, too far away from them to get to him. So I came up to him, and I hit him from the back with an axe. It was the hatchet, I think, and I broke his leg, and he fell over. And so I got out in front of him, and I was like, "Hey, buddy, what are you doing?" And he was like, "You're a dick." And I was like, do you remember me? Well, when I survived, or when I died, I respawned and went back and got the guy's helmet that I killed, which is a pilot's helmet. They're very rare. I was like, "Do you remember this helmet?" And he was like, "No fucking way. It's you." And I was like, "It is, you son of a bitch." And split his head open and run off. So I've gotten one. I'm down to one, but I need to get the rest of them. But I know where they're at. I know which server they usually play on. I've been following them around.
They're probably all wigging out right now, too. You know, because like shit like that, they're like,
yeah.
"Motherfucker,
and I talk
he
like,
knows when we sleep."
I use the Batman voice when I talk to him now, because I'll start out normal and I'm like, "Do you remember me?" Just get all shitty. Oh, it's so much fun. So that's like my goal now. That's all I do is just hunt these guys down and kill them one by one.
It's shit like that makes me want to play that game.
Dude,
just
it's
for the
so much
fun
fun
of it. But fuck people, though. That game is one of those things that reminds me how awful
they are, because you'll spend
are,
2-3 hours running around getting shit together, and then somebody will just pop up and fucking bash your brains in. But if any of our listeners do play DayZ, my name is Lawrence, Lawrence. Find me, friend me. I need people to play with me because I'm getting tired of running into assholes and being by myself.
I would just want to build a character that's like Doc Holliday from Tombstone.
There's all sorts of shit that you
I
can
would
wear.
just do
It's cool.
crazy shit.
Yeah.
But I would mostly just yell, "You ain't no Daisy," before I shot anyone.
Yeah. It's funny.
That would be fun.
The controls are so messed up, though. Like, it glitches every now and again. So when you're trying to, like, shoot somebody, it's weird. Like, everybody moves, like, linear because it's hard to strafe, but run diagonally because you're using the WASD controls. So when there's a gunfight, like, I've watched them before. I'll sit in buildings and watch people interact. And everybody's just like zigzagging around, and bang, bang, and there's
Can't
like 30 shots.
Can't you fucking play with a
off.
controller though? Like,
You can, but nobody does. I don't have a controller,
so
I just use the manual controls.
can't you just use an Xbox 360 controller with Steam?
Oh yeah,
You can just plug it in and go. You're welcome.
Does it plug in?
I think it just or you can use it wireless. I don't know how it works wirelessly, but
I'm gonna have to do that because I have a 360 that I don't use.
But I know we're short on time, but I just want to mention, you asked me if there's anything coming out I'm looking forward to. Robert Kirkman, the creator of Walking Dead, just signed a TV deal for the Outcast, his comic book series, just horror related, which is why I bring it up. One of the best comics I've read in recent history. I'm really stoked about it. If you're a listener, you're into comics, $10 at your local comic shop, worth the read completely. It starts out and it's just one of the craziest demon possession stories I've ever read in my life. pretty badass. It's where I can't say anything without ruining the awesomeness. So just check it out.
There
but
you go.
I think that's all for our show tonight. Catch the next show next week. We're going to be talking with name Brad.
Jennifer Braverman
from Trans World.
Actually, let's edit that because that's actually going up first.
Is it? Okay. So,
tune in a week ago.
Yeah.
When we
I don't know where to go with this. Well, that's it for tonight's show. Brad ruined everything I had to say. Way to go.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. Check us out on YouTube. We have videos up.
Yes. Plays are slowly going up, and we appreciate it. Subscribers are slowly going up. We appreciate it.
Yep. Subscribe and give us a like on
Larry
the YouTube.
works hard on the videos.
I work hard.
We've got the Patreon in full swing now, eh?
So
yes,
we've finally got our T-shirts and posters and stuff in stock.
Which
so
you can kind of see some of the posters in the background. They could be yours.
But it's a monthly subscription-based kind of like Kickstarter where you can be a patron of our show, and there are different reward bases. Right now, you can donate $1 to help us out if you like. There's no real reward there, but we've got different tiers. Some of the
other than a big thank you.
Yeah, a big wet thank you. The other rewards right now we have are posters and T-shirts, which my plan is to change the T-shirts up periodically as we start making more money. So the more patrons we get, the cooler shit we will be giving out as rewards. And we'll have some cooler tiers going up too, like maybe do some seminars via Hangouts or something like that. So keep an eye on that page, and please help us out with any spare change you have. We really appreciate it. Help us go a long way. But we'll be back in a week with more fun shenanigans.
That's true. Because our shenanigans are always fun.
They are. And I'm sure we'll have more haunt topics coming up soon. Tis the pre-haunt season.
I think we will.
About to start.
Yeah, what the hell?
Actually, I just got
crazy
a message last night from a friend of ours, Travis, who runs 7th Street, and he was like, I know it's early, but when you guys want to get together and talk haunting? And I was like, we'll see about that. We can probably do that. So
it's about to be in full swing. So also, just keep an eye out. We're a few short weeks away from Trans World now, about a month and a half or so.
A little less than a month.
A little less than a month now. Yeah, that's right. It is a little less than a month now. From Trans World, we're going to be doing full coverage on that, so keep an eye out. But check us out at returnoflivingpodcast.com. We got links up there for our YouTube. Again, subscribe and like. Watch a full video. Don't be a dick. And we've got some fun stuff on our website, too. So check us out online, and thanks for listening. Again, we're your hosts. I'm Jared Howe.
I'm Brad Banforth.
And I'm the Larry. Is that
right?
Larry! It's his tribute. It's his tribute to Corey.
It's my tribute to Corey, the Boondock Taint.
Yes.
Rest in peace. What, like he's dead? Fucking.
I thought that, but I didn't say it because I was like, that sounds weird. Why would I say that?
I don't know. Who knows? Well, you guys have a good night. Thanks for listening.